Casey's with us in Fort Myers, Florida. Hi, Casey. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I had a question regarding children, grandparents, and money and Christmas. Where we have a 3-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old, and so we're pretty busy around the house, as you can imagine. And we're working hard on raising them, teaching them godly principles, how to handle money, short chart, trying to be diligent ourselves in that with them, and to be thankful, grateful, not to have an entitled mindset. And so as Christmas comes along, grandparents who aren't able to see the kids very much, we feel like when it comes Christmas time, sometimes go way overboard, with the gifts. And so is that something we should just overlook, or is that something that we try to redeem? We've even talked about, if they give, maybe we take some of those toys back, but we feel like that might be teaching our kids on not being grateful, to take those things back. Yeah. So you being a grandparent, knowing that, I was just wondering if you had any information for us.
Yeah, my answer today might be more soft than it would have been 10 years ago, in all honesty.
And I don't think the grandparents should be doing it because I don't think they can afford it. But that's another thing that we haven't been able to change yet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, number one, you handle your parents, she handles her parents, because otherwise you're going to get into a big problem, okay? You'd be very gentle, and what I would say, let's start with the I can't afford it, to start with that part of it. It might be that you say to your dad and mom, you just sit down next time they're in at Christmas this time, don't worry about this Christmas, it's already here. But sit down when you're with them and go, guys, we're really working hard to teach these kids the value of $1. And, Dad, you taught me the value of $1. You made me work my butt off. You remember that? And who are you? And what'd you do with my father, the way you're treating these grandkids? I mean, so, Dad.
We've done that a little bit with, and for both of them, our fears are that having that conversation with them would be a bad, because we don't have a problem confronting, or lovingly, but we feel like that it would just be this is the only way I can love these kids. You're going to take it away from me.
Well, have you actually had the conversation? That's actually what they said, or are you just afraid that's what's going to happen?
We've talked about it, and my wife's talked about it with her parents and her mom gets really defensive. And she's always bringing the kids things, and she says, "This is how I can love them. I don't get to see them," and so we've kind of just. We're like on eggshells there, and we tried to do that gently. So that's why we've actually cut down.
Okay, number one, I'm not going to support a toxic situation where I can't have conversations about my kids. That's a breakdown there. That's got to be worked on relationally. But as an overarching concept, if they're not around a lot, they're not going to mess up your kids.
Got it. Okay.
And they're probably not going to destroy their personal finances. But it sounds to me like, with what you described there, in the context of everything that we're talking about, that her mom has some issues. And, some issues. And I love the kids by giving them items. That's your description of love? No, that's that's not love. Stuff is not love. Stuff's just stuff. So, you're denying me the right to love my grandchildren. Oh, drama queen, seriously? So there's other issues going on there that are deeper than just whether your kids get too much stuff. And so I'm gonna set boundaries with toxic value systems more than I'm worried about just the amount of gifts. But it's if it's one time a year, it's not going to mess up your plan with your kids. Your kids are not going to be entitled, spoiled brats because once a year the grandparents give them too much stuff that they can't afford to give them. If it's that simple, you're okay. But, I wouldn't fight it over that alone. But it's not that simple because mother-in-law has issues, and apparently neither couple can really afford to give at the level they're giving. And so, I'm going to continue to have some kind of conversation here on both of those things. Mother-in-law's issues, and on mom and dad. We just, we appreciate so much your heart for these kids, but man, it's just a little over the top. If you dial it back a little bit, you could afford it more, and the kids are going to love you. They don't love you based on how much you give them. And so, let's dial this back a little bit. It's a little bit out of control. If you'd help us with that, we'd really appreciate it. If they can't hear a conversation like that, there's other stuff going on in this relationship, other boundary issues. If my kids, grown kids, said that to me about my grandkids, I would have to listen, and it would probably be true. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.